Well, my pretties, welcome back to Shadows and Pretties. This is episode 214. So today we are going to be looking at this movie that came out in 2007, and this movie is called Trick or Treat. So, anyways, it's an anthology horror comedy film written and directed by Michael Goldogherty and produced by Brian Singer. So, pardon me about that. Let's just yawn. We are going to be go over this. So we're gonna be reviewing this movie. This is about a Sam who is a trick-or-treater wearing a footy orange pajamas with a Sir Slap sack over his head. And of course the character makes appearance in each stories whenever one of the characters breaks the Halloween tradition and all that. So of course this was pretty much delayed for 2 years, and having a limited amount of screenings at film festivals, the film such a critical acclaim since the game garnered around strong cult following of this movie. So, anyways, I think we should get started now. I do want to let you guys know there is a couple stories in each thing, so it's kind of like a little bit of a comic book or something. So it's pretty interesting with this story. I mean, with that being the case and that being said, I think we should get started with this movie. This review. So basically the plot is pretty much framed by Halloween night in a fictional town of Warren Valley, Ohio. So the plot follows a non-linear narrative with characters crossing paths throughout the film. At the center of the story is mainly Sam, who is the character from, Trick or Treat, who is a trick-or-treater in a Serpa pajama costume who appears to enforce the rules of Halloween. So, yeah, I'm going to be going through this movie in case those who haven't seen the movie in a long time, and in case of those who want a refresher, and for those who have not seen this movie. So it's just a spoiler alert for those who are wondering. So in the opening scene, Emma's and her Halloween-loving husband, Henry, return home after a celebration night. Who Emma hates Halloween, blows out her jack-o'-lanterns, and before midnight, against Henry's superstitious advice, Henry relaxes and falls asleep in the house when Emma starts to tear down the front lawn decorations. Without knowing, she gets ambushed and murdered by an unseen assailant, and hours later, Henry discovers her mutilated corpse on display of the Halloween decorations. So there is this principal story that goes on with Charlie, who is an overweight kid who vandalized jack-o'-lanterns. He gets caught stealing candy from an untended bowl left by his school principal, Steve Wilkins, who seemingly taken the offense astride, as Wilkins offers Charlie a candy bar while he's lecturing Charlie of how the importance of respecting Halloween rules and traditions. So Charlie gradually feels more unwell until he begins to vomit chocolate and blood. So eventually Charlie dies, but Wilkins reveals that he laced the candy with cyanide, and that's what killed Charlie. While clumsily attempting to hide the murder, he then hands out candy to the trick-or-treaters, including Sam. Wilkins attempts to bury Charlie in his backyard along with the bloody of another victim, but is continuously interrupted by his younger son Billy, who is a cantankerous elderly neighbor, Mr. Craig, and Greg's dog Spite, and the other victim, who turns out to be alive, struggles in the sack, forcing Wilkins to violently beat him to death with a shovel before anyone can discern the noise. So when Wilkins returns indoors, he briefly notices Craig at the window, screaming for help before seeing something attack him. Wilkins guides Billy downstairs to carve a jack-o'-lantern holding a knife behind his back. But after some hesitation, Wilkins appears to stab Billy. However, Billy is unarmed and revealed that the knife was plunged into Charlie's severe head, the jack-o'-lantern they were about to carve. So the next story we go on is, the Halloween school bus massacre. So it's basically a group of teenagers, Macy, Chip, Scratter, and Sarah, are collecting jack-o'-lanterns when they meet Rhonda, a Halloween traditionalist dressed up as a witch. and the group led by Macy visits a flooded quarry where she tells about the urban legend of the Halloween school bus massacre. In this legend, 8 disabled children were killed by a school bus driver on Halloween. However, the children's parents, wary of the bearing for caring for them and resenting them for their disabilities, out of embarrassment and wanting nothing more to do but to be rid of them. So they paid a said bus driver to dispose of them. However, though, before the driver can complete his plan, one child escapes from his shackles and controls the bus. But the boy ends up wanting the bus to fall into the quarry, killing the children, and although the bus driver had survived. Macy leaves 8 jack-o'-lanterns by the lake as a tribute to the deceased, and the group splits up, leaving Rhonda and Chip behind. However, Rhonda gets pursued by horrifying figures, but once she is reduced to the tears of the other teens to claim responsibility, revealing that they disguised themselves as the dead children as an attempt just to prank her. So all planned out, Macy and Skraders realizes that the tricker has gone too far, comforts the terrified Rhonda while a bitter Macy kicks a jack-o'-lantern in the water. The dead children then emerge from the lake, attacking Macy and Sarah, although Sarah gets dragged away and killed while Rhonda escapes, abandoning the free teens in their gruesome fate as revenge for the heartless prank on her. So as she leaves, Rhonda encounters Sam and exchanges with a nod of respect towards him. So next we go to the surprise party. So eventually the surprise party is about Lori, who is a self-conscious 22-year-old, joins her sister Danielle and her friends Maria and Janet for Halloween. She winds up with a Little Red Riding Hood costume that, in her opinion, makes her look like she's 5 in the comparison to her friends' revealing outfits. Such a traditionalist, Lori misses just trick-or-treating, which her sister casually disregards as the other girls pick up dates. But Lori declines in her favor of staying to enjoy the town festival instead. She later then encounters a hooded man dressed up as a vampire who follows her into the woods. But of course attacks her, but she defeats the assailant, and Lori's friends unmask the incapacitated man by the bonfire that forcibly, along with Stephen Wilkins, revealed to be the serial killer who has sought out victim at the festival. Now, however, though, Lori's friends are revealed to be werewolves, shedding their clothing and skin, feasting on the deceased dates. Lori decides to make an exception and join them for this occasion. So she is the last one to transform and kills Wilkins before devouring him. Sitting on a log nearby, Sam witnesses the whole werewolf's feast. And then we go to the Sam character. Craig, who is Wilkins' criminally Halloween-hating neighbor, scares off the trick-or-treaters off of his doorstep. And as the night proceeds, Craig encounters the escalating phenomenon. The house is edged and the lawn is egged, and the lawn is filled with some ordinary jack-o'-lanterns, and the hallway ceilings are crawled with Halloween shamrock gratings. So Craig is ambushed by numerous times, and by Sam. He eventually unmasks his assailant, whose head resembles the frightful hybrid of a skull and a jack-o'-lantern. Craig then shoots Sam several times with a shotgun, and the pumpkin and art spray from numerous wounds, and that's how Sam proves to be difficult to kill. So after badly injuring Craig, he eventually has the old man cornered, and instead of killing him, Sam impales the candy bar into Greg's lap, completing the tradition of handing out the candy on Halloween. So as satisfied, Sam spares the confused Craig and criminally aparts, while meanwhile the photographs burning the fireplace reveal that Craig is the driver from the school bus massacre. So basically the conclusion of this is a heavily bandaged Craig gives candy to trick-or-treaters while on his front porch as he observed the street. He witnessed all the other characters from the film Mill about observing Halloween traditions, while Billy sits on his father's porch handing out the candy to the trick-or-treaters and enjoying himself. Rhonda then crosses the street casually, pulling in her wagon filled with jack-o'-lanterns, and along nearby run over to Lori and the girls' van as they drive by laughing to each other. Emma and Henry arrive home, but then Henry relaxes at his home while Emma blows out the jack-o'-lanterns as Sam moves in for a kill breaking the Halloween tradition. So Greg retreats to his home, but immediately hears a knock on the door and the last trick-or-treaters were the children from the bus. They mockingly greet him before proceeding to brutally tear apart and devour Greg as a revenge for their murder, and thus how the movie ends. Now, it's a pretty good Halloween movie, in my opinion. I mean, it's a pretty good messed up movie where, we have, this basically the location of Trick or Treat. It was filmed in location in Vancouver, British Columbia, and it originally slated for October 5th, 2007 for theatrical releases, but it was announced that in September 2007 that the film had been pushed back after several festival screens. It was released in, via DVD in 2009. So, yeah. Basically, Seedings Greens was an animated short created by Trick or Treat writer and director in 1996 and was a prequel of the film. So the film features Sam as a little boy dressed up in orange footy pajamas with a burlap sack over his head, and he's being stalked by a stranger on Halloween night. The short was released on DVD as an extra release for Trick or Treat, and it's aired FearNet on October of 2013 as part of the 24-hour Trick or Treat marathon on Halloween. So, it's still a pretty good story. Originally, they were planning to release a 4 issues adapting of Trick or Treat, but however, this covers more, and it was originally going to be released weekly in October, ending of Halloween, but unfortunately the series was pushed back due to the film's blacklisting, and there was some other stuff. However, though, there is possibly being a sequel to this movie. Now, Michael Duggarbury announced that in October of 2009 he was planning on making a sequel, but later stated that there was no active development nor attempt for a pitch, so the sequel was announced sometime in 2013, but there was a change in the Legendary's management. Doug Hurity then has to continue to express the interest in the sequel, but said the film stands on its own. However, though, we do get an update in October of this year. Doug Hurity then revealed that there is an active development of its sequel with Legendary Pictures throughout the film, although it has not officially greenlit yet. So we obviously don't really know if the sequel will come or not. We don't really know yet, but it is being hinted. So, I mean, the whole film of its own self, I mean, the blood in this movie was flat out amazing, as well as, some gore scenes and some kills in this. It's just, I mean, they're just flat out really brutal, but it honestly was still a pretty good movie. I honestly thought this movie was pretty good for what it is. I mean, with Sam, going over killing people who are breaking the tradition and all. And it has a couple short stories in this. It honestly, I can see it being believable. And it's honestly a pretty well-made story in a sense in this. So, with that being the case, and with that being said, it's a really well-made story. It's definitely a pretty good, it's a pretty good story. I honestly thought it was nice, and it was honestly really, really, it was just awesome. I really liked how the story went out with the whole movie, especially with the whole, aspect of it and all. It honestly just gives that Halloween feeling. Now, I know we did get rumors saying there is Trick or Treat 2 coming out, and I really hope that it becomes really good like this movie. I really do hope that we do get a sequel, and I do hope the sequel does a lot good like this one. But like I said, we're going to have to wait and see if we see anything else, because I can't really guarantee if we're going to get a sequel or not. But if we get updates regarding this will be awesome. But like I said, this is just my personal opinion on this movie, and if you happen to disagree with me, that's perfectly fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these movies, and this is just simply my own personal thoughts. So, anyways, what did you guys personally think of this movie? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done personally helped make the movie a lot better. Feel free to leave me what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. I'm the Lion Queen. I want to thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you're brand new here to this channel, feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications to when I upload, so that way you guys won't miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out.